Welcome to สวัสดีกระมังเดอะเซ็กต์ซันชาแนลต้นปะฮูปะฮูฮายดิซี่
Oh yeah, that's what I like to see. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm in favor of execution. Maybe our entire team needs to be executed after tonight.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Andrew Esquire, American attorney over here in Asia. Of course, this is Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. What is up? Hope you guys are doing well today. It's been a minute, a little bit of a delay here. My brother is in town visiting me in Bangkok, so I have been busy the last couple days. So mi scusi. He's only here for a couple days, so I'm trying to, show him around and have a good time. And obviously, sometimes we have such a good time that things go kind of long. But we're back here, and we're going to be talking today about some huge fails in the agenda department, both for Mr. Thomas Lockley and Ubisoft. We'll talk about that. And we're going to talk also about Hoyoverse, which has absolutely been destroyed. And the crazy thing is, apparently, ladies and gentlemen of the base legal mindset, apparently we have had a big impact on the perception in China. Apparently we have influenced this ourselves, our channel. This is you guys and me and our coverage of it. So absolutely fucking hilarious. You guys, you Chads and Stacys of the chat, we alone have had more impact than the boycott has in its aggregate, right? Which is great. It's fucking based as hell. So that said, guys, smash the like button on the way in here. Share this out. I know it's late at night. I know there's other shows and people are other places, et cetera, et cetera. So thank you guys for coming on with me and kind of hanging out. I do appreciate that. And I do appreciate everybody that's here, whether you're coming from locals, whether you're going over there coming from Twitter, or you just see the notification on YouTube. I appreciate all you guys being here. And thank you guys for just being absolutely fucking cool. By the way, I saw this. This absolutely is something that made me smile. Maybe it makes you guys smile, which was like Buenos Dias. And this is from Nara, right? Look at this. Good stuff. I spared you guys the intro today, the deer intro today, but it'll be back, guys. It'll be back. That stuff is brain rot, and you guys must be subjected to this. Yeah. You guys must be subjected to this. Reinhardt says our voice finally matters. Actually, you know what, guys? We've actually been getting a lot of W's lately, not just because we're doing a great job educating people, etc., but like the word is getting out there on a lot of these issues, and a lot of times because we speak about them, it gets out there, right? Going back to Niji Sanji and the Niji Sanji contract, or some of the other things I've covered, that people can go out there and spread this. And I've had this conversation because I've had a lot of clippers come out to me and talk to me about, we've talked about the positive effect of clipping, and because people clip my channel and will translate it, that's a good thing. I'm happy people are doing that. I'm never going to strike anybody or stop that, because it's more important that the message get out there than I make a couple of shekels or I prevent somebody else from making a couple shekels, because it's not like as if I strike someone or remove some content from whatever platform, that's going to make me necessarily money. It's going to really just deny it to somebody else, which why would I do that? The message getting out there is the important thing. So yeah, it's just a matter of like changing the narrative and pushing things back in the right direction, because I think we are headed in the right direction. Speaking of the wrong direction, I don't know what the fuck is going on I don't know what the fuck is going on locals. I turn away from my locals for 1 second, and all I see is this, right? This is what's going on my locals here, guys. If you guys aren't over there, I don't know what's going on. This is a softcore event, so come back when you're in high school. Oh, you guys are a bunch of degenerates over there. But I see you and I appreciate you. So shout out to Max and Joe kind of hanging out over there. So and also, by the way, for two things, there will be a YouTube members only stream. I'm debating when to do that. So I have a friend in cybersecurity, and we wanted to talk about CrowdStrike, but he's currently in Poland. So we're trying to coordinate a time to talk about that, to talk about CrowdStrike. So that's one that's coming up. And then right after that, I'm going to do a member stream. And we do have the Boon letter. So I figure a really awesome thing for a members only stream would be going through and reading the Boon letter, the Sarah Boon letter. So we may do that on a members only stream. So stay tuned for that one as well. Mark Danielle Lopez says obligatory what I missed super chat. We're just getting started here. We're just getting started. You missed some deers. And what's up, everybody checking in the chat? I see people coming in here today. Thank you. We're getting up to 400. Appreciate you. See Rept in there, Pepita, a lot of the other members here who are going to Einhander, RNG, Lauren S. So guys, as you check in, say hello in the chat. Don't be a lurker. Just say what's up. All right. So let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is Hoyoverse, because we've talked about the Hoyoverse boycott. If you don't know, you can go, watch my old video. I'll pull up the little graphic in case you missed it. Let me see. Where the hell is that deranged people? Let's see. So here it is. So there's this kind of official movement, right, that started for the Hoyoverse boycott. And you guys can see that on this quote unquote official account, right? The HYV boycott, right? We talked about this. This is over perceived racial discrimination in the new region of Natlin, right? And this is the official boycott where they're saying do review bomb and share their posts and like and retweet and kind of give them clout, but don't purchase anything. Now, of course, it doesn't say don't play the game, right? So completely ineffective boycott. But yeah, this has been going on for now a while, right? For a couple of days. This has been going on since the 15th. So almost a week now of the boycott. So how is it going, right? Let's check in and let's see how it's going. So according to the official Hoyoverse page, right? So according to the Hoyoverse page, they say more from our Chinese informants. So first of all, they're pretending that China has the back of a bunch of Western, American, largely American, Canadian, Western, non-Chinese people, activists, right? So woke activists from the West. They're saying that China has their back and that people in China are backing them up. Now, it's a big country. Of course, there's some people that are mentally deranged or went to school abroad, and we'll talk about that. And those people have been kind of fucked in the brain, and they, come back and they bring this poison from perhaps Western institutions like Berkeley or somewhere else, and they've been kind of poisoned in the mind. They come back and they dribble this. But I'm saying the vast majority of people over there are not infected by this mind virus, or not infected the same way. But they're claiming, oh yeah, China's got their back. And look what we're doing. Look where we're doing. Hoyoverse is not trending. So they're claiming that they're winning because they're not trending on Chinese social media on certain pages at certain times when they take a screen cap of the top 13 or top other items on certain Chinese social media sites. Oh my God, they're not trending at a given moment. Are you fucking kidding me, right? So that's what they say. They said they're moving right here, right? So, see here, the lay of the claim. Hoyoverse tried to buy some AI account to make the website top. What is going on in China? The Chinese social media protest is ironically the exact opposite to ours. Their method is to stage a blackout and remove Hoyoverse from the trending page. So what I think is really going on here is that the boycott isn't working, but they're trying to show that it is by no one caring, right? By no one caring. And they're claiming, look, they're claiming here, this is the boycotters. The Chinese community is watching. Now they're asking us to fight with them. By request of Chinese informants, please sign this petition. So do you understand what this petition is? It's to tell Western politicians to contact Chinese politicians and tell them to put political pressure on Hoyoverse. First of all, do you think if Joe Biden gets on the phone in his 2 minutes of clarity or 10 seconds of clarity when he's not, when he's on the drugs and kind of getting the clarity, and he calls Xi, you think he's going to talk to him about Hoyoverse and and you think that even if Xi picked up that phone, that Xi's going to give a fuck about that? Bro, no. Are you serious? Are you serious right now? Are you serious right now? And then some people are buying it here, right? But then look at here. Ace puts, I hate to break your bubble, but for Billy trending, number 16 refers to ZZZ and number 29 refers to Honkai Star Rail. So Zenless, what is it? The Zenless Zone, that is Hoyoverse. That's trending. And number 29, that's Honkai Star Rail. So it is actually trending. So they're actually lying about that. They're lying about that. But even further, they're lying about whose side China is on. And I know about this because I had a personal message today on this. And I could not believe this. This is how I was like, I got to do this episode because I got a message that my Chinese ex-girlfriend's dad was watching the video of me reviewing this on Billy. I also got this from someone in my email, Geo Rockman. Shout out to you, Geo Rockman. But I got a private DM from my ex-girlfriend being like, my dad is watching your video on Billy. And I'm like, are you serious right now? And she's like, yeah. And there's like 1,000 people watching it right now actively, like as she's watching it, and it's got hundreds of thousands of views. And I'm like, are you fucking with me right now? And she's like, no, I'm not fucking with you. Right? So I come over here. Where is this? I come over here and I'm like, who's this fucking Chad? Like, so somebody has come over and translated my clip. And it's already got thousands of copies over here, right? It's already got thousands of copies. It sounds to the comments. And, what they're telling me is a lot of the comments, because I was like, all right, well, tell me what the comments are saying. They're like, oh, they fucking love you. They're calling you Marshall Mihoyo. And a lot of the comments, they're not supportive of the boycott. The comments are, fuck you, into the Western activists. Are like, fuck you, you crazy people. Like, fuck you, you woke Westerners. And if you want to play the game, play the game. If not, fuck off. Right? And I'm like, oh, well, okay. It appears that this comment, right, that China is backing them up is complete bullshit. In fact, China has got your boys back, right? Even my fucking ex-girlfriend's dad, and he doesn't like me. By the way, my ex-girlfriend's dad doesn't like me, right? He's gotten over it. But I mean, he really didn't like me for a minute there. But he's still like, yo, your boy's killing it on this. And yes, we'll get a fuck you to them. This is for Hoyoverse. This is for Hoyoverse, right there.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
That's for the boycotters. It's for the boycotters. Let me get some of these. Twitter Tinkerlin says, woke activists lying? What? Never? No, they would never lie, right? Never. Chaos Smash says, I'll lurk when I want to. You ain't the boss of me. Thank you for the super chat. You goddamn lurker. Sebastian Price says, Chinese players were mad at Hoyo because the change to character was seen as a scam. Yeah, that's different than they're mad because the skin tone, which they're not, by the way. And by the way, another thing that was brought up was Black Myth Wukong, right? So I was talking and I'm like, yeah, well, what do you think about this in general? And they're like, oh, this is all bullshit. and of their own volition bringing up Black Myth Wukong and what they're trying to do to Black Myth Wukong. There's no fucking way they're ever going to change that. That's like changing a core. That's like changing, you know, the story about the founding fathers, right? Or like whatever mythos you want to have, like whatever American mythos you want to have out there to make it so the founding fathers came from Wakanda, right? You know, it's not going to happen, right? It's just not going to happen. Biden could be playing Blue Archive in Nikkei. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Ronnie Adams, welcome as a member. Appreciate you being absolutely based. And listen, no matter what they say, you are not an absolute Chad. Thank you for joining. Appreciate that. And we're going to have more for our members. And also, I was talking to my brother about this. I am going to start doing, I think I'm going to start doing giveaways for members, right? So there probably will be a monthly giveaway. We may start by just doing it for the BLM folks, and then we'll work it down because it's a smaller group and then go to a bigger group. But we're definitely going to start to do some fun stuff and some other cool stuff for members. So just stick around. I'm always trying to improve the show and become better and become a better host. So thank you to all my members. I really appreciate that. All right. Next. What were the comments? So I had somebody who went out and translated more of the comments on the official pages talking about this boycott, right? And these are the translations. So I want to read, these are actual translations from Chinese. So I want to read some of these Chinese translations from you, right? Okay. So Western internet is always like this. The so-called correctness is valued more than the quality of the story, but MiHoYo shouldn't care about it. See, this is it. The Western internet is always like this. See, they know. They know. This is why this is not going to work. They're like, they know what the story is. They know what the fucking story is, and they're like, yeah, no, we're not buying that shit, right? And next, overall, it's good. What's the problem? Must everyone have dark skin? Doesn't dark skin look a bit out of place? Isn't slightly tan skin enough? Exactly. Why do you have to use the same standard that literal chattel slave traders used in the 1700s and 1800s to sell slaves? Why are you using the dark enough test? Right? That's literally the test that was owned by people that boated over to Africa and bought slaves from, by the way, Africans that were selling slaves, selling their fellow Africans into slavery, right? Their rival tribes, et cetera, you know, their political rivals, selling them into slavery, right? Using, and then taking them over to the US and using the skin test, right? Crazy. Regarding the upper comment, that's what we all think, but that's racism in America. Yes, it's true. It wouldn't necessarily be in the US, but quite a few US cops would agree with that statement, as Black people look really out of place in their eyes, okay? And then they continue on. And once again, these are Chinese comments, so they're just saying shit, right? They're just fucking riffing. And they don't have to worry about the woke police canceling them. They say to respect the culture, but every word from them is about stereotypes. They can only move themselves. See, this is the point. They just operate on these racial stereotypes, which in and of itself is fucking racist. Operating based on stereotypes is racist. It's absolute racist. Also, Chad Gifter, LJ O'Rourke. Thank you so much, LJ. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. You are absolutely 100% part of the
Hello, best department.
Thank you, LJ. Appreciate you, brother. LCP Anime Guy said China players against Girl Frontline, aka AFA Chance, AK-12, was unfaithful wife due to story quote. What makes wokeist think CCP is on their side? Yeah, they're not. And the fact that any boycotter thinks that just shows you they don't know anything about China. They know nothing about China. They literally don't know anybody who's really Chinese. The only people they know, and let me explain this, because there's a big difference, and we're going to get into it when we talk about Jun Yoon. Now, he's Korean, but we're going to talk about what happens and how people in America are using they'll use their ethnic category strategically, but culturally they are betraying the very cultures that they come from, right? And they also are using that to misrepresent other cultures because they're saying, oh, well, I qualify as POC, right? And so here I'm going to speak on behalf of other cultures, but you're going to see how that's a fuck up. We talk about how it happens with Jun Yun. But in the case of people in China, for example, and this is something you can talk to anybody about. These people go to school in Europe or go to school in the US or Canada or Australia, and they're absolutely, they're reprogrammed or changed or whatever else, or maybe they spend a long time there and then they'll come back or they'll bring those ideas back. That's the only way that stuff gets over there. And people who live actively over here don't buy that shit. It's only when you live in LA or in San Francisco for an extended period of time that you end up thinking like that, because you're in literally the seventh circle of hell, the insanity that is those particular spots, because that thinking is normalized. Real quick, Tinkerland says something funny about screaming your message from the rooftop is everyone thinks you're a nuisance, even people who have no idea you exist. Exactly. And then Sebastian Price says wokeist being the actual racist. Never. That's always the case. Let's finish these comments. There should be one black character, and the talent is a bonus for gathering silk. Oh, bro, literally. And okay, this is the Chinese version of being like the black character is the one picking cotton. This comment right here about the silk flower, bro. This is like that's a cotton picking comment. It's great. And once again, these are Chinese comments that are translated, right? It's useless to protest in a country region that doesn't spend any money. Oh, destroyed. Look at this. Because the point is that the US, remember guys, the US wasn't even on the top 20 player list. They don't give a fuck. Asia has the money, and they're the ones that spend the big money on Genshin, not elsewhere, right? Billy Aoki said, hey, there's lots of hilly churls in Genshin. In case you don't know what a hilly churl is, hold on, let me show you. Okay, so this is like a mob here. This is a mob in Genshin. Let me show you real quick. Right. So let me make sure Billy's comment hits here. Right. So there's lots of these guys. So people are saying, hey, there's lots of these guys. They should be happy. Right. Got lots of these guys here hanging around. All right. Thank you, Billy. Appreciate you, brother. All right. Let's continue with the Chinese comments, which are great because, China is totally on their side, right, guys? China is totally on the side of the protesters. No wonder SBI has grown big. Their suffering is worthy of their perception. In that case, they should go under Elon Musk's account and make him black. Oh man, absolutely. Once again, these are real people responding. This is not their made up agenda that China's supporting them. This is real people commenting, and they absolutely get wrecked in China. So just a little shout out there today. I thought this was fucking great. And also Jian Wang says Southeast Asia Chinese here represent. All this was legit on Billy. I'm telling you, I wasn't making that up. When I have a text message from my ex-girlfriend telling me that her dad is watching my video in Shanghai, I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? Right? Like, what the fuck is going on right now? Oh, and hold on, I can even pull this up. She just sent me 2 more things. Let me pull this up. She sent me this live. Right? What is this? Hold on. Okay. Yeah. So apparently a lot of the comments that are coming in there's comments that are coming in that are from all over the place, right? So people are telling me, okay, hold on one second. That this comment, for example, like came from Yunnan, right? So that this comment, which by the way, this is some savage shit. This comment right here says, which is, in Chinese, we won't pull blank Niji Sanji. Asians don't know black shit. They fuck with Black Myth Wukong now. They come for Genshin. Diversity won't work on us. Apparently that came from Yunnan province. So, because you can like see where it comes from. So, this is some live update right there. Right, guys, this is how you call people on their bullshit. This is how you call people on their bullshit, right? And you hit them with facts and reality. Anyways, welcome to Asia. Racism is a art form. Yes, indeed. It's savage. That's why people don't make it here. I had a consultation with somebody the other day because I do consultations on my channel. If you guys ever want to move out here to lovely Asia, of course, I specialize in Japan, Korea, Thailand, and the Philippines. But if you ever want to think about coming out here, right, and you're ever interested in that, you can always go over to goeastgentleman.com and you can book a consultation with me. I just had a consultation with a good friend of mine. I don't want to expose him too much, but a content creator that I'm getting out here to Asia, and then I'm trying to help him get out here within the next year to Asia. You can always book a consultation. I've got events out here, so you can come over here and check this out. goeastgentleman.com if you're ever interested in coming out to Based Asia. Also, I have my South Korea trip is doing pretty good. We've got a lot of people signed up for that, and we've got some events in Bangkok. So if you ever want to come out to those two places just to visit, there's some good events for that. Anyways, but Silk Flower is high. Honorable flower. Nick Cruiser says, savage, yet maybe a little based. I'm going to play it. I think those comments, I'm going to say it.
Not a sin. I cannot absolve you. Mega based.
Castmaster X's dad is agreeing with you, but he's also making funny at the same time. Oh, I guarantee a little bit. Yeah, for sure. That's always how it is, right? But it's all good. It's so funny how the world can be a small place sometimes, right? GeoRock says, hey, boss, hope we're doing good. And FYI, the translator of that video did compare you to Saul Goodman. Hey, that's fine. I like that. LCPL Anime Guy says, Wokus, East Taiwan looks submissive and breedable. Ray V says, you should see the Indians and Chinese make fun of each other. Google Sridevi. I'm not going to go. I'm aware. Okay. I'm in it. Okay. Marksman says, you should the art form Africans have about. Yes. There's lots of interesting stereotypes that go along a lot of ways. It's all good. Exactly. I'm okay with that. Now let's get into Junyun, because this guy also fucked up regarding Hoyoverse. So let me cover this. Okay. So this guy, Junyun, is a voice actor. He's voice acted a lot of he's voice acted a couple of characters, including Hoyoverse characters, right? So about Junyun, he was born in Busan. He's South Korean, right? But for the last 25 years, he's lived in Los Angeles. And I wanted to use him, not necessarily because he's the only one. There's other crazy woke voice actors and stuff like that out there. It's all fine, right? But he is a great example of someone who has lived in LA for too long. And I know a lot of these folks, right? Because on paper, they're quote unquote diverse, right? Oh, I'm from another country. Okay. Even though if you go to LA, right, what diverse is really is an interesting question, because the number of, it's not like LA is majority a bunch of people that look like my friend Ben, blonde hair, blue eye guys. No, not in LA, right? LA looks much different. So what's diverse, quote unquote, in LA is interesting. It's up to interpretation. But this guy, he wrote here this message that he messaged from his voice actor account about the Natlan characters. And look what he said here. Let's read his little complaint, right? And mind you, he has him here, and he puts here Korean voice actor. This man has lived, let me just point out, this man has lived in LA for 24 years, right? His wife is white, right? You know, but he's Korean voice actor. Okay, sure. And I guess he's born in Korea, but let's point this out. Continuing, right? First and foremost, thank you very much for the bottom of my heart for your continued dedication, working hard in Genshin Impact. As a fan, I appreciate all your team does to bring this amazing game to us. Thank you so much. I understand the world of Tevya is fictional. Okay, so that's where you stop. So if you understand the world is fictional, you put a period and you don't send this message, right? Because it's a fictional place. So shut the fuck up, bro. But let's continue. And that the nations and characters are informed by various real cultures that are mixed in to create a fictional setting. With so much research and attention put into the characterization of each nation, Natlan included, it is disheartening to see efforts are being drowned out by the greenlit character designs that don't respectfully portray the people and deities of this culture. Why should they? It's a fictional setting. That you answered your own question, retard. Right? Well, hold on. I got the clip.
Yeah,
here.
right. Explain this to me like I'm retarded.
That won't be that hard.
I'm sorry, you're a little slow here in the French sense of the word. Le retard, right? It's fictional. Therefore, they don't have to do what you say and do a one-to-one comparison. And by the way, how about the one-to-one comparisons about things like Cleopatra, where they're putting out images of Cleopatra or the queens of England, right? And portraying wives of Henry, you know, as, oh yeah, they were African, right? When they're clearly not, right? Or changing Little Mermaid, which is a Danish folktale, right? So why is it okay one way, but it's not okay the other? And it's not okay in a fictional setting. Those are historic settings. I mean, not Little Mermaid, but the other ones are. Cleopatra certainly is, right? So why is it okay to do it in one instance, but not the other? Very interesting. Let's continue here. Please reconsider redesigning the Natlan characters with respect to the originating culture, specifically the skin color. So he is pro darkening the skin color. Genshin Impact is loved by millions around the world, and I truly believe such an action will bring even more fans to the game and Hoyoverse to gain a higher level of respect from global fans. Thank you for your time. With respect, the EN voice of Yip Tak, Koju, Takyuki, and other NPCs. He's a fucking NPC, baby. An NPC. A retard? Yeah, retard. Le retard. Yes. So this is the comments of Jun Yoon. He's pro emailing them and pro getting on the woke train, right? And look what the response was here. So the best thing to this, and the thing I really love about this, was that he got immediately fucking wrecked. So his post here, right? His post here is right here. Okay. Email them, right? And then you just put edited, blah, blah, blah. First response here. Hey, I'm a Latin American, you know, somebody that's a real Latin American, not somebody who thinks they're Latin American because they live in LA. Because by the way, Jun Yoon and many people who live in LA, they think that they're Latino because they live in LA and they've had tacos. Because, you know, June makes posts like this, like, oh, look, you know, I'm the expert on tacos, right? I'm going to shame this guy for putting ketchup on his tacos because I've lived in LA. And because I've lived in LA, I'm the master of tacos. Thus, because I'm the master of tacos, I know all about Latin America, right? I'm the Latin American master. I can tell you what's best for Latin America because I'm a Korean guy in LA that likes tacos, right? Well, what do real Latin Americans have to say? Let's find out. Latin American here, the representation is well done. A Latin American coming in off the fucking top rope. Off the top rope saying the representation is well done. I don't know why Americans want us all to be black or something. Stay away from my culture. Stay away from my culture. Latinos telling them to fuck off, mariposa. Telling them to get the fuck out. Come mierda. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. And more here. Look at this. Same. Latin American, and I love the Natlan characters, why US people try to defend us when we don't even need to. We really don't care. Latin American here, Latin American culture isn't the only one incorporated into Natlan. And boom, they're leftist commies. It's all about message, nothing more, which Noble Shield gets the fucking W today. Super fucking based. Bro, stay away from my culture. Right? This is what everybody needs to be dropping on these people is get the fuck out all around the world. And we're going to talk about Japan and the consequences because this is going over to Ubisoft in a second, right? We're going to transition to Ubisoft, but this is what happens when you push back. These people need to be pushed back. You know, there's a lot of like talk now, but like, oh, you know, don't cancel. No, don't cancel people back. That's what the left. No. People do need to be publicly shamed and do need to feel consequences for their actions because they are trying to do something. They are trying to have a negative effect, right? And therefore, them having responsibilities and consequences for their actions is called discipline. And it's about time to bring some discipline. And if there's one place in the world that knows a discipline, it is Asia, which discipline real good in Asia, right? If there's one lesson that the Asian Chads and Stacys can teach to the folks over there, these woke Western activists, it's discipline. And it's about time these motherfuckers are spanked, right? We need to get out the fucking bamboo rod and give these guys a caning like we're up in Malaysia or Singapore. I'm just saying, guys, it's about fucking time, right? And also shout out to the people in Latin America. Papita saying, I'm from Chile and I'm pale as fuck. Exactly. Have these people ever been to Argentina? Have these people been to Uruguay? Right? Come on, man. Have you guys seen people? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Let's get some of these comments before we go on. Latinos and Africans that play Genshin have said they love their culture being used. Exactly. But they're drowned out. They're not drowned out because you know what? They have a voice and we're giving these people voices. And as we saw with like, even when my shit gets on Billy and other places, people are commenting on this and backing us up and backing things up. I think we're winning, guys, but we need to keep our foot on these people because DEI is losing. And we're going to get into even with Microsoft at the end. We are winning, but we cannot let up, right? We cannot stop. Because these are worms, they're going to try to change it. Like Kirshu covers this, very based VTubing, a spicy cat. This is something we need to keep pressure on because they're going to try to change it to bridge. They're going to try to do other stuff, but we're winning. And you know we're seeing it. We're seeing it even with stuff like First Descendant, right? Just absolutely killing it, right now, because they're saying, hey, we're not catering to you guys, and we're going to go out here and we're actually going to make characters that are attractive. We're not going to care. Like, this is how you end up winning, right? This is how you end up winning, and we're getting close to winning. Over here for Hong Kong 50. Thank you so much. I live in Hong Kong. I got to visit Hong Kong this year. It's on my list. I live in Hong Kong and play Honkai Star Rail for a year. I can humbly say no one in Asia will give a shit about these guys. Exactly. Gamers just want good stories, good gameplay, and good looking characters. Exactly. And that's why they'd rather play, a game that looks like this, right? Which is like First Descendant, right? Versus where's like, versus, this, right? Oh yeah, here we go. Here's the classic example from Concord, right? So that's Korea, right? This is Korea. All right, here's America. Okay, this is America right now. This is America. Who the fuck wants to play this? Who the fuck wants to play this? Right? Are we believing that a 600-pound woman is going to be running around and lighting things up? This girl's going to get heart palpitations just putting on the armor, right? That's an American game. That's DEI in games, baby. That's sweet, baby. That's representation. And by the way, I don't know if you guys noticed, everybody also like notice here, in addition to the design here, notice over here, there's pronouns. They all have pronouns. All the characters have pronouns. Yeah. Welcome. Welcome to 2024 American gaming. All right, let's get these comments and we're going to move on to Ubisoft. Mario H says, this guy's a fucking joke. Saludos desde Mexico. Hey, saludos. I need to get down to Mexico as well in the future. You know, my brother, my brother's visiting me in Bangkok right now. He loves Thailand. He loves Asia, but he's a Latin America guy. So he's always, traveling there. He speaks fluent Spanish, teaches salsa and bachata. So we kind of have the, he's the the guy who knows all about Latin America, and I know more about Asia. He's trying to get me to do a little bracket over there because there's a lot of guys that kind of live abroad there, expat community there. So I may be doing at some point in the future, I may do a South America tour, but it probably will be next year, not this year. Let's continue. Tinkerlin says, you need to do a spank machine. We'll be happy to rent it out. It's no joke. It can draw blood and is limited in what? Wow. Okay. Chaos Smash says, raise your bamboo. Begin the caning. Yes, let's do it. Georock says, why should we, the West, force our perspective onto a game that specifically reflects other cultures? I thought we're all for inclusion. We're not. We're for using a deranged few people, which, by the way, is not all Americans. It's not me. I'm an American. I live abroad, but I'm still an American citizen. It's not a lot of you guys that are watching this channel that are Americans and that support me, right? We're fighting back, and we need to reclaim what it is to being an American. We have allowed these people to speak for us in the West for too long. No longer. We should denounce these people as not just weirdos. These people as un-American, right? These people are not what represents us and what should represent us. We need to take the mantle of the West back from these folks and say, no, actually, they don't represent us. They're a bunch of weirdos that are just on the internet, and they should be ignored. They should be completely fucking ignored, right? Jazik V, KHP System, Betroya, welcome, willkommen, knock the membership. Appreciate you being a member of the Base Legal Mindset. Sehr good.
Hello, Peso Department.
Appreciate that. Billy Aoki for $2 Singapore saying, hey, why Lizzo's wearing armor? Mark for 5 Canadian. Mark Daniel Lopez said, June, also forgetting the incredibly prevalent and numerous Mexican Chinese community, Mexicali, Mexico City. Exactly. Weird says, if Bridge was done, who is liable if discrimination? The companies would still be liable if they're discriminating. Bridge would still leave the companies liable. So the companies themselves would be liable. But I will say, Sweet Baby Inc. and the people pushing this and the consultants, the DEI consultants, they need to be shamed publicly and held accountable in the court of public opinion, right? You may win a lawsuit against the employer, but that's like whack-a-mole. You need to go for the head of the snake, which is the consultants. Tinkerlin says, caning is criminal punishment here. It is no joke. I know. We've played clips of people getting caned on this channel. We got demonetized for it because it was too based. But you know what? I don't care. I'm happy to be based sometimes. Or all the time, rather. Big Leo says, 3036, Concord sinking like the Concordia. Love it when I hear that comparison. It's a great one because it's success versus objective failure. Jared says, I think some people read Animal Farm in school as a guidebook by accident. They take it as instruction rather than as a warning. Tinkerland for Singapore 5 says, we did it to an American once, and it was so bad he wrote a book about it. That's awesome. Well, speaking of writing books about it, great transition to talking about our favorite author. So, in case you don't know, Thomas Lockley, the professor, or should I say ex-professor at Nihon University, has had his entire career erased. Okay. The Japan Chads. So Thomas Lockley was the mastermind behind the false history of Yasuke as a samurai. And by the way, this is coming out and saying, he said this and other people have said this, that Yasuke was absolutely a samurai, when everybody who has the most objective assessment of Yasuke, just to be very clear, is that there is no proof he is a samurai. Well, people will say, well, there's no proof he wasn't a samurai. And I'm like, well, yeah, but you don't prove something by, like, absence of evidence is not proof of something, right? So you know, it's that's not going to prove it, right? Oh, you can't prove he's not. Okay. So, but you can't prove he is, though. So he's not, right? And you can't go out and claim that based on proof to the positive and based on no proof to the negative, right? Oh, it said he held a sword. So he was a slave but he wasn't a slave, right? So it wasn't in like the formal slave class, but he was like a retainer, right? He was not in the noble class. He was not some upper echelon guy, and he was not a warrior, right? At no point is there any record of him participating in any battle, right? Right? At all. At all. You know, probably a servant at best. Yeah, servant. So this guy, you know, here's the post here by my good friend Learning the Law, who's also, speaking of Learning the Law is super based Chad in Argentina, fucking super based. Yasuke was a nobody used by the elites to support Afrocentrism. The truth is won over liars, right? So, and this is confirmed. This is not just a post on Twitter. This has absolutely been confirmed, right? And why was this guy taken down? Well, because this guy went out, and even as recently, here's this episode. I want you guys to listen to this, right? And I'm gonna put this on with the audio, but I want you guys to listen to this. This is an Ubisoft podcast. It's an official Ubisoft podcast. His Echoes of History, right? And this is talking about it from a historical perspective. So these guys are not saying this is fiction. They're coming out and representing that this is history, right? And they have a whole bunch of stuff here, right? About history, right? And like, what's the history here? Listen up to what they say here carefully.
Black samurai, Yasuke, as one of the main collide with the arrival of Portuguese missionaries on Japanese shores. Today, we're tracing the story of a key figure in this era of upheaval, Japan's first black samurai, Yasuke.
So you go, Japan's first black samurai, Yasuke. So they're not saying in this podcast, it's an official podcast, they're not saying that he was maybe a samurai or not. They're saying he for sure was, right? That's a false statement. This is a factually incorrect statement. And this is why he's fired, because he lost face for all of Japan. And this is rightfully so. And I know some people will say, oh, Andrew, this is cancel culture. No, bitch, this is consequences, right? Consequences. Okay. And we need to have a little conversation about this. Consequences. When you go out there and you're pushing an agenda and you're pushing a lie and you're pushing things that are not facts, that's not cancel culture, right? It's not canceling you because of an opinion on something. It is a material misstatement. And by the way, you're in a position of authority. You are a professor. You're not a rando off the street. If this guy was a YouTuber, we wouldn't be talking about this. He's a fucking professor, right? He should know better. When you lie and you try to rewrite history, particularly you try to rewrite Japan's history, come on. Like, and once again, let's listen up. Who's presenting this?
As one of the main two characters in Assassin's Creed Shadows, you'll get to see the world of feudal Japan through the eyes of the legendary African samurai. But how and when did Yasuke end up in Japan? What was his journey to becoming Japan's first black samurai? And what can his story tell us about life in Sengoku, Japan? To find out more about this notorious and yet mysterious figure from Japanese history, I'm joined by Thomas Lockley, Associate Professor at Nihon University in Tokyo, and author of African Samurai, The True Story of Yasuke.
See, once again, all of this is, listen to the language. Listen to the language. True story. True story. They keep saying it. African samurai, black samurai, African samurai, black samurai, African samurai. They say it over and over again, and then they say true story. This motherfucker needs to be fired, and he is fired, and he was fired, which is the W, right? He's a professor at a Japanese university misrepresenting Japanese history. Fire his ass, right? By the way, these voice actors for Hoyoverse, fire their ass too, or just don't rehire them, right? That is a very good consequence. If they don't want to be associated with that, don't do it. And by the way, thank you to Pirate Nation. Guess what happened to Ubisoft stock after Thomas Lockley was fired and after this podcast aired? Ruh-roh. You guys see a big problem here? Oh no, not doing good. Stock took a little dip there. Uh-oh. Not good, Ubisoft. Negligible. It's negligible. Now, once again, stock can bump and drop and go a lot of places for a lot of reasons. By the way, speaking of which, I want to give a little quick shout out. So we're talking about stock bumps. Quick shout out to Mujin. I was in his video the other day talking about Niji Sanji, and he actually he made like one little minor error, which was that he thought this pop was people buying back in the market, but actually what it was a stock buyback. The company did a stock buyback. So this is Niji Sanji Any Color, and they did a buyback. He said it was like a recovery, and then people were regaining faith. And I'm like, no, it was just a buyback. So, that's a buyback, and people immediately shitted it out and sold it back to what it's at. Right. But very good video. He cites me in it, talking about the downfall of Niji Sanji and how they've been humiliated beyond belief. So really good video by Mujin. So I recommend you check that out. It's got like almost 500,000 views here. So definitely a good one. But there's a lot of factors for reason why stocks can go up and down. So, I need to mention that. But that said, it looks like they're taking some L's in the court of public opinion as well now for this, right? And this game needs to be absolutely shamed to the point that it is an international disgrace. LJ O'Rourke says, normally I don't cheer for people losing their career, but this guy's been changing the wiki for how long? Just to promote his book? Screw him. Exactly. He was the one who was changing the wiki and locking it down, and now he's been removed. So Wikipedia really has no justification other than their agenda, because Wikipedia does have an agenda to push DEI type messages in its display, right? Whenever Wikipedia can do that, they will preference for that. Curious is Andrew, the part where he got removed from the university is wrong. I think there's already a community note in the Japanese Post. I'm pretty sure he did. But I'll double check. But once again, there need to be consequences for that. Nicholas Cruz Riser said they need to get Ethan Ralph to voice that story instead. Ethan Ralph will be more convincing Japanese than Yasuke. Chaos Smash says, even though the games consultant was a damn Fujo, they mostly are. And once again, the consultants, maybe they may, come from Japan, but they've once again lived in San Francisco for 20, 30 years, a decade, right? They're thinking with a Western mindset, and they're applying that Western mindset back. It's really radioactive. I compare living in these places like San Francisco and like LA and working in these industries to being exposed to radiation. It's like the guys in Chernobyl. Remember Chernobyl, guys? The miniseries, really great miniseries. The human robots, the liquidators who took the fucking granite, radioactive bricks, and they were like tossing them off the roof, and they had to go in two minutes at a time. Well, that's like living in San Francisco. Like 2 minutes in that environment is so toxic, it poisons your blood permanently, right? It poisons your blood permanently. It just changes your mental chemistry. Graphite. Graphite. Yeah. Not granite, graphite. Thank you. Yeah, that show was hardcore. And by the way, that's some Soviet Russia shit. And by that's very much an Eastern mentality. It's like, we got to get this shit done. We're getting it done, right? Let's see here. Jeff Moser said, I thought our favorite author was Steve Gazzi. I love Steve Gaz. I love the Gaz, right? The Gaz is great. Gaz is great. He got in a little shit over his book, but there ain't nothing wrong with what he did. So Heath Rowell said, I always said this stuff is promoting Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter as historical fact and having people edit his wiki saying, well, there's no evidence he didn't hunt vampires. Exactly. And look, I'm okay with fiction. If you want to make alternative fiction, I like that. I like alternative fiction. Go write that, right? Go write the alternative fiction, right? Go write the fiction where like whatever you want, like whatever fiction, where like Napoleon wasn't as much of a cuck, right? Like whatever. Go write your fiction. It's cool, right? Whatever you want to do, just label it as such. Be like, yeah, it's historical fiction. Okay, cool. But don't try to pretend it's true. And you saw in that Ubisoft podcast, they keep trying to say, this is true. This is true. This is true. NZ said Ubi had a better earnings than predicted and still the stock fell. That's bad. Davis said for Australian 5, surprised me how many people still trust Wikipedia as a reliable source. When I was in high school, they don't allow me to use it as a source. It's not a source. Wikipedia is not a source. It's an aggregator. It's not a source. So yeah, I would never use that as a source ever. Okay. Here is a really good part about DEI losing from Microsoft. So this is actually a really good article. This is from Business Insider. Microsoft laid off DEI team. Its lead wrote an internal email blasting how DEI is no longer business critical. This is what I say. We may be turning a corner, boys. We may be turning a corner, boys. Right? Okay. Microsoft laid off its diversity, equity, and inclusion team, citing business change needs. Right? Our D&I commitments remain unchanged, a spokesperson said. Right? The team was eliminated because of changing business needs as of July 1st, right? So after George Floyd, they pledged to double the number of Black leaders. The progress on this pledge is unclear. So look, you can, if you want to like promote leadership, which by the way, this is illegal, right? It is illegal to do this. You cannot promote leaders based on race. And you wouldn't need an entire department to do that. Even if you wanted to break the law and do this illegal thing, you don't need an entire department to do that. You just would do it. It's illegal, but you know, if you wanted to do that, you could just do it. Why do you need a DEI team for that? To tell you to do that, right? So they're cutting a bunch of people, and you love to see it that when the big cuts come, they take out the DEI teams. And as times get tough, I love it when these middle management and these people get cut out because they finally get what comes around, which is, hey, you're not actually necessary. You know, when times we're fat and we're making a bunch of money and we have all this profit, we can afford extraneous people, but now we can't. LJ O'Rourke says, remember, folks, read the entire email and not what you want to read. Exactly. Very true. Roji Mana says DI may be going down, but as Kershaw mentions, now there's bridge. Yeah, and that's why I say that you need to continue to fight, right, Ryoji? The fight is not over, right? The fight is not over, but we're getting some winning. We're getting some W's. So it's good to celebrate your W's and to have some positivity because a lot of people nowadays are what's called black-pilled, which means, and I know not everybody knows all the lingo, so let me explain it for the boomers out there. Black-pilled means you're like only thinking of doom and destruction and everything's not working. But on the positive side, there are real victories. People are pushing back against this. They're pushing back against this here in Asia where I'm at, right? Asia's fucking taking W's. We're winning over here. We're not letting this shit come over here. You know, we're keeping this off like it's a Mongol invasion, right? You look over there, even in the US, right? Where there's people that are having consequences for their actions, right? People that are knowing with political violence regarding the Trump assassination. I covered that, where it's not okay to call for violence. That's a win, right? And I'm sorry. I know some people are mad about that. Some people have feelings about that. I'm sorry, right? You got to push back against extremism, and you got to push back against these quarters. And even when Microsoft, a large American company, cuts their DEI team, saying it's not necessary, that's a good thing. It's a good thing. Mark Walks said, isn't it interesting that after Microsoft ended DEI, the CloudStrike bug was sent out, crashing every Microsoft computer online? I know. It's very interesting. It's very, 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 very interesting. Very interesting. Also, mind you, CrowdStrike, hold on. I don't know if you know about this. We'll cover this. But CrowdStrike definitely should be called out for once again, it's not causation, and I'm with Chris Rufo on this, but we're going to talk about CrowdStrike later. But CrowdStrike pushing DEI, and there's lots of posts, even recent posts, pushing DEI, right? And then all of a sudden, there's incompetence, right? And once again, it's not causation, but what happens is it weakens the institution. The institution stops caring about performance. They start caring about these metrics, which have nothing to do with their business, right? But we're going to get into that later. So the CrowdStrike thing. So my friend Ryan, he works in cybersecurity, and we're going to talk about this later because I thought this was a small fuck up, but apparently this is something that may take weeks to fully fix and is a massive fuck up. So we're going to need to get into that in depth a little bit later. Enzi said, what's this bridge? Bridge is the next iteration of DEI because they need to change the name, right? So they're changing the name of DEI to Bridge because DEI has been outed as negative. So everybody knows that. And the thing that the left does is, well, not the left. Sorry. It's not the left. It's not even a left or right thing. The crazy activists that are a small segment of an extreme end of the woke cycle, whatever that is, right? They're an extreme end. Those folks, they will change language because they need a new term. They need a new thing, a new, way to expose something or a way to hide something, like one way or another, either to criticize something or to hide something. And so Bridge will be the next way they hide it because everybody knows DEI, but not everybody knows Bridge. But that's why Kirsha is doing the Lord's work out there, educating people on Bridge, making sure they know the name Bridge and they associate Bridge equals DEI. So I'm happy to amplify the spicy cat on that one. Everybody just remember, Bridge means DEI. It's the same shit, just a new flavor, right? And as long as you know that, you're good. Weird says, why janitors when kids clean school? Bridge. Chaos Smash says, CrowdStrike messed up my 360 purchases. What is it? Eurosarina? All right, that's what we got for today, guys. It's been really great today. It's been really, really good. I know. And by the way, let me be very clear here. I definitely want to be clear. Thank you for the section. Not all leftists or crazy actors trying to brainwash people. I agree. And by the way, there's a lot of people that watch my channel, especially now, that would consider themselves even socialists, even leftists, even Democrats, whatever. It's okay. You're welcome here. This is a home for all sane people. I know not all people are like that, and I do apologize if sometimes I may mislabel that. These people are extreme people. They are extreme people, and I think that everybody recognizes they're extreme. It's just like, for example, right? They're the equivalent of tried and true racists, right? Which are a very small number, like the David Dukes of the world, the like card-carrying Klan members, right? They do exist. These people do exist. They're real. They're real, right? They're real, but they're such a finite minority. So to call them the entirety of the right is no more accurate than to call the woke activists the entirety of the left. That said, they do have, if you talk about the woke activists, they have a disproportionate amount of power, right? So we've successfully shamed people, right? If you're an out and out racist, right? If you are an out and out racist, you have been shamed in modern America in the West. You are absolutely castigated for that. We've done that on that side. But on the other side, we need to absolutely shame those people that are crazies and making everybody look bad so we can get back to having common sense discussions. I'm okay with a common sense discussion. I'm okay with that, right? But let's get back to that. And that's what I want to have is rational conversations based on the facts so that we can all be our own judge and come to our own conclusions. That said, guys, I've got a little clip for you on the way out. Somebody sent me this. Bay, this is a VTuber clip, of course, because I like VTubers. Bay getting into Filipino food. You know, we got to represent for my Filipino brothers. Mabuhay to my Filipino brothers out there. Let's represent.
This makes me feel better. Cooking makes me feel better. That's what I did. And then I made peanut bet. I've been into Filipino food recently. I don't know why. I saw a recipe on like a short. I was like casually scrolling the other day, and I was like, "Oh my god, that looks so good!" Peanut bet is a Filipino vegetable stew. It has a lot of veggies in it. I saw it. Like the reason why it looks so appetizing is because it had okra. I really like okra. And I also wanted to try cooking with bitter melon for the first time. So I tried, and it was so good. I have so much left over. I'm so happy. And the bitter melon actually is good. I soaked it in salt water for like 30 minutes. And it's still decently bitter, but like it helped quite a lot. Any squash? Japan didn't have squash, unfortunately, so I just replaced it with pumpkin. It still tastes good. So what did I put in? I put in bitter melon, I put in okra, green beans, pumpkin, onion, eggplant, and pork. Is squash hard to find? I wonder if it's seasonal. That was so
you
good.
Can get it.
And then also at the same time when I went out shopping for the ingredients. And then I came back and then I was before I started cooking. I made bread. I kind of did the measurements wrong again because I was stupid. But I made bread. Did you put in shrimp paste? Yeah, I put bagung.
Shrimp paste. That's
I got
so
it off
Asian.
Amazon. Bagung. Is that what it's called? It's shrimp paste.
Bagung is a Philippine condiment partly or completely made of fermented fish or krill or shrimp paste with salt. The fermentation process also produces a fish sauce known as patis. Fish sauce.
So good. Bagung is like it's like a spicy shrimp paste. But
it's pretty good.
I want to try cooking more.
Good stuff. All right. Anyways, thank you for the clips. Appreciate that out there. Guys, stay absolutely based. Oh, wait. Oh, there were these other comments from China that somebody sent to me as well. I forgot to read these. But guys, by the way, I had more comments. I forgot to read these because I had them hidden in a window here. These are more translated comments from China, just showing that the Chinese Chads back up the legal mindset here. I forgot to read those earlier. Oh man. Anyways, just know that we stay absolutely based here on the legal mindset. We got the back here. I want to read them. Okay, let's read them real quick. We'll do it real quick. This is a special bonus at the end. Okay. I can't hold it anymore. Are they really stupid? Do they make the rules here? Are they Genshin experts? Bro, look at look at this one right here. These savages make me laugh my ass off so hard. Did they receive instructions from someone else? Their efforts are so pitiful and sad. It's ridiculous. Are so sad. It's pitiful and ridiculous. Don't spread fake news. Nobody is discussing this shit in the Chinese community. Don't use these isolated comments to represent the Chinese community, right? You want to know the truth? The Chinese hate black-skinned people and hate anything to do with black. Bro. Almost nobody is going to speak up for your SJW shit. We think the current character designs are very good. If you're okay with, if you disagree with us, but don't take a couple of crop pictures to fool everyone. The Chinese people are not on your side, bruh. Holy shit. On that note, Base opinion. Holy shit. On that note, we gotta go. We're demonetized on this one, boys. Please smash a like button. Please subscribe. And I will catch you guys later.
Long